Alright, Logan. So, didn't upload anything this weekend because I was away at a village called Ostruzhna, where a friend of mine from Olomouc has a chata, a cottage. So what we do is every few months, the lads from Olomouc, my friend, two other mutual friends, and we all go to this chata in the Yeseniki Mountains, and we play cards, we drink a lot, we have a good time, and this time we got to play a lot of Magic. The idea was we would have kind of a modern tournament with some side action of Commander. So I took Cairc, Cestria, and Kenrith. They're all in the same box. I wanted to take two new decks, one old deck, and give them a try. I found out something really interesting. The decks the lads are playing in Olomouc and Ostruzhna are at a much higher power level than the ones in Prague. So let me give kind of a breakdown. Cairc only got one game out, and I wasn't playing him. My friend was playing him, my friend Steven, and because I'm so used to Cairc, and I know all the cards, I kind of forget that 25% of the cards are in German. Because I can kind of read them, and I only need to kind of read them because I know what they are. I've been seeing them for years. But Steven, he was kind of confused, and I was feeling bad that I gave him this deck to play when he didn't really know what some of the cards were. At one time he had a hand full of German cards. He had Schrotters Licht und Schatten. He had Fencer and Model. This one really threw him for a loop. So he's looking at it in his opening hand. He's like, what the hell is this? This must be good. Tony put it in the stack, and it looks like it's good. What the hell does it do? And he didn't want to. I told him, tell me the casting cost. Tell me the casting cost, I'll tell you what it is. Because I knew the card so well. He didn't want to do that because he didn't want to give the other two lads information. So he looked up on his phone, and he said something. And I said, Grim Monolith. And he looked at me because I gave away the secret, and he said, yeah, it's Grim Monolith. I didn't want them to know. I said, well, that's fine. Just play it. Play it now. You can play it. Get it out there. You need Cairc on the field. So he played it. Next turn, he played his Arcane Signet. And by turn 4, turn 2 was Grim Monolith. And he had 2 lands, Grim Monolith. Turn 3, 3 lands, Grim Monolith. Tap 2 lands for Arcane Signet. Turn 5, he had Cairc in play. And he didn't quite see it because he kept forgetting what Grim Monolith does. So he got Cairc in play. And I was having a great time because he was getting to do shit. People were casting spells. He was burning things. He didn't get a lot of the things that would have helped him win the game. He did get Erebos out, which screwed over James's life gain deck, his Alloro deck. It just shut him down. That was pretty funny. He didn't get Kakusho, didn't get Solemn Simulacrum, no Urborg, no Tomb of, no Cabal Coffers, no Sting Scourger, no Kiki Jiki. The game only lasted, I'd say, about 15 turns. I really wish he'd gotten that out so I could see how it works, but he didn't. But he did have a lot of fun in the deck, and Cairc did what he always does. And I've realized something about Cairc. Cairc is basically my red deck wins deck for EDH. It's the same thing. Either it does outstanding and burns people, or it just falls flat. Or it burns people, and then it gets to a point where you just can't seal the deal because you don't have what you need, just like red deck wins. Anybody who's a burn player, you know it. You've got your opponent down to 1. All you need is one more burn spell. Just one more burn spell. Please, God, give it to me. And you get a land. And your opponent's like, yeah, I got you now. Good game. And you're just like, oh, son of a bitch. And you just look at the next card, just for fun. And it's a lightning spoke. Or a lightning bolt, lava spike, lightning smoke, whatever the hell that would be. Or it's a lava spike. And you're like, yeah, one more turn. But I didn't get one more turn. So So Cairc worked. Cairc did what he does. He didn't get a cool out. He didn't get the case out. Basically, all he pretty much had was Cairc. He had Cairc, some mana rocks. He got the Sword of Light and Shadow out. He also got, where is the Kulrathritter? I just dried my hands, so they've got a trace of moisture. And with these old sleeves, any trace of moisture whatsoever makes them start sticking together. Any trace of moisture from freshly washed hands. I cannot dry them well enough. I don't know if any of you have the same problem. I mean, look at that. It's frustrating. So I should have shook my hands like I'm at a discotheque for about 20 minutes before I picked this up, but I didn't. Sounds like my daughter fell down, but my wife is there. And anybody who's got children know when a child falls, it wants mommy. Unless it's bleeding or broken, then it wants daddy because somebody has to drive to the hospital. There he is. Kulrathritter. So Stephen didn't know what the hell this is. No idea. I said, just tell me the casting cost. And he wouldn't tell me, and I said, is it 3 and black red hybrid? And he looked at me with the same look when I gave away Grim Monolith. And he said, yes. And I didn't say the name of it. I said, just play it. Just get it and play. So he played it. And the other guy was like, oh, that sucks. So he's doing some counter bullshit. So anyway, Cairc worked. I like Cairc. He's reliable, dependable. He doesn't always seal the game, but he's always fun. It's always great. And that was the old deck I took. The old deck I took was Cairc. So let's go to the new deck I took. So I took Kenrith, Third Turn King. And in one game I played him. In another game I let Stephen play him. And in Prague, the lads in Prague do not like my Kenrith. Well, let me rephrase that. Kuba doesn't care. Kuba doesn't care because he plays bullshit too. He's got Curiosity in his blue-red deck, so he can give Niv a Curiosity and just win the game. He has an Eldrazi deck that just, if you do not stop him, if you do not kill him, you will lose. I guarantee you will lose against his Eldrazi. That's just the way it works. So he doesn't really care that I play Kenrith. But the Genie, the Genie does not like Seedborn Muse and Kenrith. Oh no, this is CEDH according to the Genie. And when he said that, are you serious? I dare you to find a CEDH deck that plays Seedborn Muse that's putting up results, that's near in the top of the field. I don't think you will. Of course, I don't know CEDH, so I might be just talking on my ass, and I might be completely wrong. But I have a feeling that Seedborn Muse isn't really represented in competitive Commander. Not 1v1. Not CEDH. So when Stephen was playing, so he actually got Omnath in play, which is cool. Didn't really get to use him because I had to wipe the board to prevent Francois from taking over. It was futile. He took over anyway. Didn't see Quixer Amulet. Didn't see any of the really big creatures. Pretty much Omnath. He got Kenrith out. Kenrith is doing some stuff. He had some stuff in his graveyard, like Bone Shredder. Then he got exiled. So he didn't have that stuff anymore. He got Livonia of the 10th. And then she got wiped by my board wipe and was exiled along with everything else. But it was just slow. It was too slow for the Alamots group. And I was really frustrated. How can it be that in Prague, so I've tuned this deck, so it's good, it's fun, it has a lot of different neat things, it's all over the board. There's no rhyme or reason. I just did it mathematically. I took 6 cards of each color from 1 CMC up to 6 CMC. I put in 5 mana rocks. I put in 1 multicolored card of each allied color type because I didn't have a full cycle of interesting enemy colored cards, so I only did allied, 1 of each. And then I took each color and I added 3 more cards with effects that I thought would be fun, like him, just to flesh it out, just to flesh out the deck. Like that guy, that's one of the additional black cards. And in Prague, it's a house. In Prague, it really holds its own. Doesn't always win, not that I've played them that much, but with the Alamotes group, okay, it worked, but it was too slow. It was a bit disjointed. So I was really frustrated by that. And to the point where I was demanding Francois play me again until I could beat him, but it was already 2 o'clock in the morning, so that didn't happen. So Kenrith works in Prague. Kenrith does not work the way I've built him. I could build him worse. I could build him to be on par with what the lads are playing in Alamotes. But then he's going to be way too strong for Prague, and Prague is where I play most of the time. I only go out to Cestria and play the Alamotes lads once every 3 months, once every 4 months sometimes. So can't take Kenrith again, because to do what needs to be done in order to make him hold his own out there, one, it kind of hurts my head to think about it. Okay, what would I really have to do? I'd really have to rejigger the deck. I don't want to do that. He's working perfectly in Prague. He's fun to play. He's strong, but the lads can deal with him. So that was Kenrith out there in Cestria. And then Cestria. Cestria was a real disappointment out there, a real shock. So in Prague, Cestria is kind of like Kenrith in that she's strong. She's strong. If I get a slow start in Prague, it's okay, because everybody else is kind of getting slow starts too. For example, one of the reasons is they're all playing precons. They're all playing the new good precons. But since the precons are not fast but good with a coherent strategy, she has time. She has time to build up. Out there in Cestria, nope. If I'm not doing shit by turn 3 or 4, the setup time, that's the thing. I've said this before about the setup time. So the setup time, as I theorize it, is the number of turns you have in order to ramp, play some things to protect your creatures if you have them on the board, get some creatures out that can start doing things. The first 3 or 4 turns where you're ramping, setting up your creature base, putting your lands and resources into play, your early resources, and then about turn 5, 6 is when people really start attacking, when they really start going after each other and doing what the decks want to do. Well, in Alamotes, it's a lot faster than that. So in Prague, I would say the setup time is about 6 turns. In Alamotes, it's about 3 or 4 turns. It's about what it used to be with the group I played with years ago in Prague. And I've tuned all my decks down to not overwhelm the lads I play with now in Prague. So I used to play hardcore, where you only got 3 or 4 turns to set up. I tested a lot of things, such as Nekazar back then, and it didn't work because I couldn't get set up fast enough. Some other decks I tried didn't get set up fast enough. I'm trying Nekazar again now because I have the setup time. In Alamotes I don't, or Austrasian I don't. So Cestria, because she needs that 4 to 6 turns to set up, because she doesn't have that many creatures. She herself costs 4, and I need some enchantment creature in play when she hits in order to start drawing cards, in order to start doing what the deck wants to do. But I do not have that many creatures in the deck. And a lot of the enchantment creatures, for example, Sanctum Weaver, I don't want to send Sanctum Weaver out to get killed. I mean, it's only 0/2. I would draw a card if it attacks, because of Cestria, but it's not going to do anything. In Prague, about turn 4, when Cestria hits, if I have Sanctum Weaver, usually there will be somebody that doesn't have any creatures, or they just have a 1/1. So I can attack them if I want to. In Austrasian, nope. People already have a few 2/2s, 3/3s. They already have power on board. So me sending small creatures that I don't want killed out to draw cards is not a good idea. It's not going to work. And at first, I was so frustrated with Cestria coming online 2 to 3 turns late in the 3 games I played her, like clockwork. About 2 or 3 turns, she would come and play late. For example, one game I finally got Greater Oromancy, and people were targeting each other's creatures. So I had Opalescence and Greater Oromancy, but I was already down below 20 life. I'd been the one that had people were hitting me because I didn't have any power on board. In Prague, I would still be on par with everybody else because they're playing a bit more casual, relaxed, slower game. So at first I started thinking, okay, I need to speed up Cestria. I need to give her more ramp cards because I really don't have that many. She's light. She only has 5 ramp spells. She has Exploration. She has Burgeoning. She's got Amari's Wake that doesn't come down until turn 4, typically. And that's if I draw it. I mean, it costs 10. And I thought, okay, I need to redo her, revise her, take out some of the cards that are just there for fun, such as Empress Galena, and put them on ramp. But then I think, okay, the games that I play in Prague, I've had Empress Galena out, and she's gone unmolested and is able to start taking people's legends. I've had enchantment creatures out without Greater Oromancy, and they stay because people are playing a slower, more casual game. So, in conclusion, I'd like to say it's very interesting that I have these 2 groups of friends that I play with. One pretty much weekly. And this, what I've been showing you, what I showed you with Kenrith, work really, really well. This is a good deck in Prague. This is a too slow deck in Austrasian. So what that makes me think is the decks I have that I can't play in Prague because they're too fast, too overpowered, such as Edgar Markov, Azami, Lady of Scrolls, Edric, Spymaster Trust. Who else is too fast, really? Voya is right on the verge. Last time I played Voya, the game was over before turn 10. So Voya is probably even though the lads accept that I play him, I shouldn't play him that often because he can be very, very fast. Sometimes he's not. Sometimes he's a little bit slower, but it's solid. So maybe I should just upgrade Voya and have decks that go to Ostruzhna and decks that I can play in Prague. Or I need to have cards that I would play in a deck in Ostruzhna and cards in a deck that I would play in Prague. Or some combination. For example, Kenrith, I just don't want to think about it. His strategy is so unclear. He has no real strategy. It's just a stack of fun cards. That's what he is, a stack of fun cards I want to play. And he's just strong by himself. So to give him the speed he would need for Ostruzhna, I just don't want to do it. Same with Cestria. I just don't want to do it. But Edgar Markov, he's already there. The lads in Prague do not like it when I play Edgar Markov, so I don't take him out. The lads in Prague do not like Azami. And it's not that they ever complained about Azami, it's after I built Azami and I played it on Ostruzhna, I realized, no, I can't play this in Prague. And that's when I really should have clued in to this dissonance between the two groups. That's when I really should have started thinking about it, but it wasn't until this weekend it really hit home. So what I'll do is Edric, there's certain cards the lads complain about here. Winter Orb especially. Cyclonic Rift, sometimes they complain, usually not, especially not the Genie, because he's got 3 Cyclonic Rifts spread throughout his decks. I only have 1. Edgar Markov, I can speed him up even more, and that can be an Ostruzhna deck. Azami is just brutal mono blue control to Blue Klux Klan, so she can go to Ostruzhna, and I just can't play her in Prague. Maybe I'll try it once. I'll tell the lads what she does, that this is my most controlling asshole-ish deck, and see if they let me play her, and see what they think. Maybe one of those times where I don't draw anything I need. Although, the way Azami works, if I have any wizards that are untapped at the end of somebody's turn, at the end of the opponent preceding me, if I have any wizards untapped and Azami in the field, I'm drawing cards. I will burn through cards until I get what I need. That's what she does. That's Azami. And then maybe look at a couple of the decks that are probably tweakable. Sig is probably good enough for Ostruzhna, and it's not that he's fast, but he's resilient. Trying to think of who else. Voya, I could just slip him the Maskwood Nexus, maybe a couple more shapeshifters. Do what everybody keeps telling me I should do to Voya. I could do that and then take it to Ostruzhna and beat the shit out of the guys there with Voya. But anyway, so that's the video for today. That's why I didn't upload. That's why you didn't hear from me as I was going through the process. Now, if you want to hear how it went with the modern games, ping me, reply, subscribe, send me, whatever you, let me know. Let me know if you want me to tell you how the modern games went, because that was pretty interesting. One of the lads played something that didn't surprise me at all, in any way, shape, or form. The other 2 lads, they had decks that I never would have considered as viable in modern, ever. But apparently they are. So that's it. Let me get this uploaded.